Zillah. GE4. 17-19, 22. 2. Aminat, wife of Solomon and mother of Hobom. 1 Kai 14. 21. 2 Ch 12. 13. 3. A Judean city in the Shephelah. Jos 15. 20, 33, 41. Its exact location is uncertain. Naaman Nara middle dot man from a root meaning be pleasant. 1. A grandson of Benjamin through his firstborn Bela. 1 Ch 8. 1-4, 7 Having founded a family, the Naamites in the tribe of Benjamin U 26. 40. Naaman himself is elsewhere listed as one of the sons of Benjamin. G 46. 21. 2. A Syrian army chief of the 10th century BCE during the reigns of Jehoram of Israel and Ben-Hadad II of Syria. Naaman, a great, valiant, mighty man held in esteem, was the one by whom Jehovah had given salvation to Syria. 2 Kai 5. 1. The Bible gives no details as to how or why Naaman was used to bring this salvation to Syria. One possibility is that Naaman headed the Syrian forces that successfully resisted the efforts of Assyrian king Shalmaneser III to overrun Syria. Since, by remaining free, Syria formed a buffer state between Israel and Assyria, this may have served the purpose of slowing down Assyria's aggressive push in the W until Jehovah's due time to allow the northern kingdom to go into exile. Cured of leprosy. Naaman was a leper, and while the Syrians did not demand his isolation as Jehovah's law required of lepers in Israel, yet to learn how he might be cured of this loathsome disease was indeed welcome news. Such news came to him through his wife's Israelite slave girl who told of a prophet in Samaria who could cure leprosy. Immediately Naaman set out for Samaria with a letter of introduction from Ben-Hadad II. However, Israelite King Jehoram, after receiving him with coolness and suspicion, sent him to Elisha. Elisha did not meet Naaman personally but, instead, had his servant tell Naaman to bathe 7 times in the Jordan River. His pride hurt, and apparently feeling he had unceremoniously and fruitlessly been run from one place to another, Naaman turned away in a rage. Had his attendants not reasoned with him and pointed out the reasonableness of the instructions, Naaman would have returned to his country still a leper. As it turned out, he bathed the 7 times in the Jordan and was miraculously cleansed, the only leper whom Elisha was instrumental in curing. 2 Kai 5. 1-14. 4. 27. Becomes worshipper of Jehovah. Now filled with gratitude and humble appreciation, the Syrian army chief returned to Elisha, a distance of perhaps 50 kilometers 30 mi, and offered him a most generous gift, which the prophet insistently refused. Naaman then asked for some of the earth of Israel, the load of a pair of mules, to take home, that upon Israel's soil he might offer sacrifices to Jehovah, vowing that from then on he would worship no other god. Perhaps Naaman had in mind offering sacrifices to Jehovah upon an altar of ground. 2 Kai 5. 15-17. Compare X 20. 24, 25. Naaman next requested that Jehovah forgive him when, in the performance of his civil duties, he bowed before the god Rimmon with the king, who evidently was old and infirm and leaned for support upon Naaman. If such was the case, then his bowing would be mechanical, being solely for the purpose of dutifully supporting the king's body and not in personal worship. Elisha believed Naaman's sincere request, replying, "Go in peace." 2 Kai 5. 18, 19. After leaving, Naaman was overtaken by Elisha's covetous servant Gehazi, who lyingly made it appear that Elisha had changed his mind and would, after all, accept some gifts. Naaman gladly granted him gifts of silver and garments. But for this greedy and lying act in which he tried, by misusing his office as Elisha's attendant, to profit from the work of Jehovah's Spirit, Jehovah punished him by otex toi acute miritra longo, Nabonidus 457 nara middle dot ra. 1. Girl. Young woman. A wife of the Judean Asher by whom he had 4 sons. 1 Ch 4. 1, 5, 6. 2. From the root meaning shake off. A city on the boundary of Ephraim Jos 16. 5, 7 thought to be the same as Nararan. 1 Ch 7. 28 Nara is generally considered to correspond to the no middle dot o middle dot wrath of oisbis onomastic and 136, 24. Josephus seemingly calls this site Nara. He relates that half of its waters were diverted to irrigate the palms near Archelaus Palace at Jericho. Jewish Antiquities, 17, 340-13, 1. It has tentatively been identified with Tel El Jissa, about 3 kilometers to me and W of Jericho. Nara middle dot dry, possibly a shortened form of Neariah, meaning boy young man of Jah, son of Ezbah and a mighty man in David's military forces. 1 Ch 11. 26, 37. He may be identical with Pararai the Arbit mentioned at 2 Samuel 23. 35, in what seems to be a parallel list. Nara middle dot and from a root meaning shake off. An Ephraimic border city 1 Ch 7. 20, 28, apparently the same as Nara. Jos 16. 5, 7. See Nara no. 2.